Hello there and welcome. If you're a leader at a nonprofit, you know that Giving Tuesday is probably one of the most important days on your calendar. But as you know, with big opportunities often comes big complexity. This explainer is part of a series from us here at Ironwood Registrations, and it's really designed to give you practical, straightforward guidance on fundraising compliance. We're jumping into the multi-state fundraising compliance series. Our whole goal here is to break down these sometimes confusing rules about charitable solicitation into clear, actionable terms. And today we are tackling a really big one, Giving Tuesday. All right, let's get right into it. Giving Tuesday has become an absolute powerhouse for nonprofits, hasn't it? I mean, it's one of the single biggest fundraising days of the entire year. It's this huge window of opportunity to launch your digital campaigns, connect with a ton of new donors, and really, truly expand your organization's mission and impact. But, and this is a really important but, because these Giving Tuesday campaigns are designed to go far and wide, all across the country. They can open up this whole new world of compliance considerations that, frankly, a lot of organizations just aren't ready for. So what we're going to do today is walk through how you can prepare for a super successful Giving Tuesday, all while making sure your fundraising efforts are totally in line with those multi-state obligations. We'll cover the core problem, some of the hidden rules of fundraising online, how to plan ahead, get your teams on the same page, manage that growth, and of course, what to do after the campaign is all wrapped up. So let's start with the central challenge here. You see, the very thing that makes a Giving Tuesday campaign so effective, its ability to reach pretty much anyone, anywhere, is also the exact thing that creates these potential compliance headaches. And when you look at these methods, they're all the standard tools in the toolkit, right? You're using social media, you're sending out emails, you have a donation button on your website, maybe you're running some digital ads. The key thing to remember is that all of these tools are borderless. They don't just stop at a state line, which means your ask for donations could be landing in front of potential donors in states where you might not be registered to fundraise. And this brings us to a really critical point, one that trips up a lot of nonprofits. It's what I like to call the hidden rules of online fundraising. And it all comes down to what state regulators really mean when they use the word solicitation. So here it is, the key takeaway. It's not just about where the donation comes from, it's about where you're asking for it. See, most states regulate the act of asking itself. That social media post you scheduled, that big email blast, a regulator could see that as an active request for a donation, which might mean you needed to be registered in that state before you even hit publish. So how in the world do you handle this? Well, the answer is all about taking a proactive approach. Managing compliance for a huge campaign isn't something you can clean up after the fact. It's really all about the planning you do before you even launch. And this really breaks down into a simple, effective framework. First, you just have to know where you stand. Take a look at your current registrations. Second, based on your campaign's goals and reach, figure out which new states you might be targeting. And third, and this is so important, get those filings done before the campaign kicks off. Some states can take weeks, even months to process applications, so starting early is absolutely key. Okay, so let's talk about how this actually works inside your organization. A successful and compliant campaign is not a one-person job. It takes real coordination between the folks raising the money and the folks who are managing all the rules. This lays it out perfectly. You've got your development and marketing teams over here, and they're focused on outreach, on crafting that perfect message, and on engaging donors. At the same time, your compliance team is focused on making sure that outreach only goes to states where you're registered, that your messaging has all the required legal disclosures, and that the paperwork is filed on time. When these two teams are talking, you can fundraise with total confidence. Now for a great problem to have, a wildly successful campaign. Growth is fantastic, of course, but it's just so important to remember that as your fundraising expands, so do your compliance requirements. So what happens when your Giving Tuesday campaign just takes off, and suddenly you're getting donations from states you never even expected? That's amazing. But it also means it's time for a little compliance check-in. Keeping an eye on where your donations are coming from helps you see if your registration map needs to grow to match your expanding donor base. And that brings us to our final point here today. The work is not over just because Giving Tuesday is. You see, effective compliance is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time event. After the campaign dust settles, you've got to stay on top of your annual renewal deadlines in all the states where you're registered. You also have to manage any new financial reporting requirements that might pop up with that increased revenue. And of course, keep an eye out for any letters or emails from state regulators. This is what ensures all that great momentum you built can continue without any regulatory hiccups down the road. So, the main takeaway here is pretty simple. Giving Tuesday is an incredible opportunity. And with some proactive planning, your nonprofit can absolutely leverage that opportunity, engage new supporters, and grow your mission, all while maintaining rock-solid compliance. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this powerful idea. When compliance is thoughtfully planned out and baked into your strategy, it stops feeling like a burden. It actually becomes the foundation that allows you to focus on what really matters, connecting with your donors and advancing your vital mission. So the real question is your compliance strategy enabling your mission, or is it holding you back?